Hi, today I'd like to introduce you to a real game changer in your Procreate art: unique pressure-sensitive gradient brushes that will revolutionize your digital art experience. Say goodbye to a tedious process of manual color blending and hello to a seamless gradient experience at your fingertips. With just one stroke of your stylus, you can effortlessly create smooth transitions between colors, saving time and making your creative process much more enjoyable and efficient. So let's get started and paint together a vibrant and colorful world, one gradient at a time. Please don't forget to subscribe and press the like button if you'll like this video. Let's find out what's inside. The set contains a total of 50 gradient brushes, which are divided into 5 distinct categories: basic gradient, one color gradient, two color gradient, harmony gradient, and rainbow gradient. Each category offers a unique set of brushes with specific characteristics and effects. To assist you in using the brushes effectively, at the top of each category, you will find helpful tips on how to utilize that specific kind of brush. The set also includes mini tutorials in the form of stamps. Before diving into the specifics of each brush type, let's cover a few general rules that apply to all the gradient brushes included in this set. First of all these brushes respond to the pressure applied by your stylus. To create a smooth gradient effect, it's important to gradually change the pressure as you paint. It's a bit similar to shading with a traditional pencil, where you also have to vary the pressure to obtain a smooth and gradual transition between tones. Second, it is essential to paint the entire gradient with a single stroke. Avoid lifting your stylus before you finish a stroke, as this will distort the gradient. Third, if you're working on a gradient background, it's good to use a larger brush size and start your stroke from outside the canvas. This will help the gradient to blend more evenly and enhance the overall effect. These were the 3 main rules that apply to all the gradient brushes in this set. Now, let's delve into each brush type, starting with the first category named Basic Gradient. These are the simplest, yet elegant and most versatile gradient brushes in the set. The rule of thumb here is that the more pressure you apply, the more transparent the brush becomes, revealing the background color. The first brush, Flat Light, is perfect for painting backgrounds and larger surfaces. It's highly responsive to pressure, allowing a seamless transition from a solid color to full transparency. The second brush is similar to the first, but is less pressure sensitive. It provides a more subtle tone transition and a softer effect as you vary the pressure. This category also includes 3 round brushes. 2 of them are scalable, which means that changing the pressure affects not only the opacity, but also the line thickness. They are great for creating elements with a 3-dimensional shading effect. The last one is a round monoline brush. With these brushes, you can also paint beautiful multicolor gradients by layering strokes of different colors on top of each other. Here's how to quickly create a beautiful ombre effect. Let's go back to the flat brush and try this. Choose a light color and paint the canvas from top to bottom, starting with a very light pressure and gradually increasing it as you move down until the color becomes transparent about the middle of the canvas. Then choose a darker color and paint again. But this time, start increasing the pressure earlier so that the brush becomes transparent higher up. Finally, choose an even darker color and apply light pressure only on the very top of the canvas so that the rest is fully transparent. Then a few gradient strokes at the bottom, and you've got a landscape background in no time. Moving on to the next category, we have one color gradient brushes. Like basic gradients, these brushes have one dominant color. However, here the range of effects resulting from changing the applied pressure is much broader than just opacity. The specific brush features that vary with pressure adjustment are indicated in the brackets. For instance, applying more pressure may result in color desaturation, or make the color darker, or make it darker and transparent at the same time, as seen with this brush. Additionally, some of these brushes include built-in textures that can add depth and visual interest to your painted gradients. Moreover, brushes with a built-in opacity option can be layered on top of each other to create a multicolor effect, similar to the basic gradient brushes. The last two brushes in this category are slightly different as they are halftone brushes. The harder you press, the clearer the halftone pattern becomes, letting you achieve varying levels of dot intensity and size. Halftone patterns are commonly used in comic art, and these brushes can add an eye-catching retro effect to your designs. They are also great for abstract art, if you want to add complexity and depth to your work. After the one-color gradient brushes, we have two-color gradient brushes. With these brushes, you can choose two different colors, allowing for a double color effect in one stroke. To pick two colors simultaneously for a single brush, use the two rectangular swatches above the color wheel. The first color you choose as usual. Once selected, you can see it in one of the rectangles. Next, tap on the other rectangle and choose the second color. Once you have selected both colors, indicate yet which of them is the primary one by tapping the appropriate rectangle. This main color will be displayed in the circle. By changing the pressure, you can alternate between the two selected colors. Very light pressure reveals the primary color. Gradually increasing the pressure increases the presence of the secondary color. Let's swap the colors so now the main color is olive green and try again, starting with a little pressure and gradually increasing it. As in the previous category, also here you will find brushes with interesting textures. For example, this brush allows you to quickly create a cloudy sky. What's really amazing about these brushes is that you have full control over the colors you choose, yet you can get a unique and unexpected effect with every single stroke. Also, some of these brushes come with the option of pressure-dependent transparency, which allows you to achieve truly amazing effects. Just imagine the beautiful atmospheric backgrounds for your illustrations and designs that you can create. And of course, you can layer them for even more striking effects. These brushes can be truly inspiring. Moving on, we have harmony gradient brushes. Like with the previous category, these brushes also respond to pressure by changing colors. But here, you only need to pick one color, and Procreate will automatically apply a harmonizing second hue. With these brushes, you can create stunning gradients and harmonious color blends really effortlessly. To understand how it works, let's open the color picker and select the harmony option. This feature helps generate visually pleasing color combinations based on the principles of color harmony. There are different types of harmony to choose from, like complementary, split complementary, analogous, triadic, or tetradic. The harmony gradient brushes are designed around either complementary or analogous color schemes. Complementary harmony involves pairing colors that are directly opposite each other on the color wheel. With analogous harmony, Procreate identifies two colors adjacent to the selected color. The selected color is in the larger circle, and the harmonizing colors found by Procreate are in the smaller circles. Here's how these brushes work. When you select a color in the color picker and apply a very light pressure, the brush will display that selected color. As you gradually increase the pressure, the brush moves through the intermediate shades to a harmonious color. Each brush comes in two variants, A and B for brushes based on the analogous harmony, or C and D for brushes based on the complementary harmony. The current brush variant A corresponds to the pair of the selected color and its analogous color that comes before it, when viewed clockwise on the color wheel. Let's switch to option B. Again, light pressure reveals the selected color. However, with increasing pressure, the effect is completely different than with the previous brush, because this time the selected color has been paired with the second analogous color. Let's pick a different color and try again with the same brush. Option A and option B. Here are other brushes that use the same type of harmony. The great thing about this group of brushes is that you don't have to worry about making a mistake when combining colors, because Procreate will do it for you. An eye-pleasing effect guaranteed with every stroke. Now let's check brushes based on complementary harmony. Complementary harmony involves pairing colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel, creating high contrast and a vibrant effect. When applying light pressure, the brushes display the selected color, while hard pressure reveals the contrasting color. In complementary harmony, there is only one pair, consisting of the selected color with its direct opposite. However, also here we have two brush variants, C and D. So what is the difference? The distinction lies in intermediate colors, displayed by medium pressure. These transition colors do not follow a straight line between two ends, but lie on an arc, connecting the 2 points, either on one half or the other half of the color wheel. These two possibilities are reflected in the two brush variants. Let's now focus on the final group of brushes, which is rainbow gradients. The range of possibilities they offer is really wide. For these brushes, you pick one color, and by grading the pressure from super light to very hard, you can transition smoothly around the entire color wheel, ultimately ending with the same color you started with. Of course, it is not necessary to use the entire color spectrum. By applying only part of the pressure, you can create gradients that cover only a specific segment of the color wheel. Two of the rainbow brushes have additionally built-in transparency and color dimming options. This means that as you increase the pressure, the brush becomes both darker and more transparent. Due to this additional feature, you will never see the full range of colors. That's why, again, we have two options, A and B, where increasing the pressure means moving either to the right or to left on the color wheel in relation to the selected color. That's it for the brushes included in the set, and here are some additional tips. These brushes are designed to make it easy to paint gradients directly without any additional steps. However, if you feel your painted gradient could be yet a bit smoother, it's very easy to do. Tap the magic wand icon to open adjustments and select Gaussian blur. Then slide your Apple Pencil across the screen to adjust the amount of blur until you're happy with the result. And ready. Since some brushes include a transparency option, layers painted with such brushes naturally will also have semi-transparent areas, which may not always be desirable. So here's a quick way to make such a layer completely opaque. After you paint a gradient, create a new layer. Place it under the gradient and fill with a background color. Then merge both layers and you're done. And here's how to add opacity to just part of a layer, like this semi-transparent shape. First, use the selection tool in automatic mode to select this shape. This can be difficult if you try to do it directly because of the transparency zones. So instead, mark the solid area outside the shape. If needed, adjusting the selection threshold by sliding the stylus left and right. Then, tap Invert to reverse the selection, and now the shape is selected. Next, create a new layer. Choose a background color of the shape, tap the layer to open its menu, and Fill Layer. Because the selection is still active, the color will only be applied to the area encompassing the selected shape. Place the background layer under the gradient shape and merge both layers. If you are painting more than one element, make sure each one is on a separate layer. This way, you'll be able to transform them independently of each other later. Here is an example of using this method. Alternatively, you can take a different approach. Paint a solid, non-transparent shape using an opaque brush of your choice, for example, an airbrush from the Procreate library. Next, activate the alpha lock on this layer, select a gradient brush, and, staying on the same layer, paint over the shape. The alpha lock will keep the gradient brush within the boundaries of the shape. Optionally, instead of enabling alpha lock, create a new layer on top of the plane shape. Activate the clipping mask and apply a gradient brush to this new layer. With this method, you can add many gradient layers to one shape. The mentioned method was used to create this image. First, each mountain range was painted on a separate layer using a regular brush. To tell them apart, each layer was painted in a different shade of gray, but the actual color didn't really matter at this point. A new layer was then created above the first mountain layer. The clipping mask was enabled, and the layer was painted with a gradient brush. The same was done for each mountain range, using a slightly different color for each gradient layer. And that's it for today. If you like the brushes, just check the link in the description. Stay tuned for more brush demos and tutorials in the next videos. Have a great day, and hope to catch you in the next one.